Alright, gonna make a quick update video, I guess. Kind of how to, somewhere in there. Something along them lines. So, new steering, newer track bar, new long arms, new bushings and all them. And I still have death wobble a little bit. Never really had it before, but I'm starting to get it. And a clunking. And I've never changed these upper control arm bushings, but I know they're bad. 300,000 miles. I pretty much just hit that one with a hammer and popped it out. As you can see, it's just garbage. It slid right on out. I've had these. I bought these bushings not long ago. I just haven't had time to do it. Here's your Moog part number. Just buy one because it'll come with both uppers. It'll come with two bushings, but you only need one box unless you have stock control arms, because you got one here and one over here. This mount is junk. I gotta use it until I put the truss on here, so I'm not that worried about getting it, but I have it, might as well put it in. This one's the one that I'm more concerned with, because obviously it's casted on to the axle, and this one will get cut off when I put the truss on. So with this Jeep, I think I'm going to just build stock Dana 30 and the 8 1/4 in the rear. I'm just going to build them, probably get some RCVs, and just make this axle work for this Jeep. The YJ I'm going to end up building for 1 tons and just make that Jeep a buggy Jeep. Still can drive it here and there, but mostly for buggy stuff. This one, as of this moment, I'm just going to build this Dana 30 as strong as I can make it, because I got a feeling it's going to do all the stuff we do now and do it well. Obviously, once it's time to upgrade it, I will to 1 tons. I would love to have this thing on 1 tons, but I'm going to stick to 33 35s for a good while until everyone else steps up that I ride with, because right now where I'm at, I can do everything with my friends and do it on the easier side of things. So I'm going to just build this Dana 30, gears, truss, RCVs, C stuff, C gussets. I'm just gonna build this one up and make it last as long as I can. It will get 1 tons eventually, but the YJ is gonna get them first. Probably even the Grand Cherokee will get them before this one, just because this one I know I can go anywhere that my friends will go. I can even go a little farther than some of my friends. But once we all start stepping up to that bigger level, then obviously this one will too. Dana 30's been fine. I've only broke that one shaft, and it was kind of my own fault that I didn't change a U-joint before we went. I knew it was loose, but whatever. So what we're gonna do, like I said, I just beat it out with a hammer. It took 3 hits and it popped right out. Get that. Use a ball joint press. Find your cups that fit. So let's see. This side is the press side. So really, just whatever fits on. Probably use this one because it butts up right nice to the edge. Use this one, and then we are going to have to use a cup on the back side to, let me get this out of the way. Use a cup on the back side to go over the hole. That way it slides in, we can press it in. So let me get it all rigged up and I'll come back. All right, well, I have to take a different approach. Like I said, this thing was super worn out, and I can literally, see, it's almost seated. Tap it in place. As you can see, it's pretty much flush with the way the mount's bent. That's about as flush as it's going to get. So what I'm going to do is just tack a little bit here on the inside and then around the outside a little bit, just to help hold it in place, not spin or nothing. Because you got to think this also goes over and encapsulates it so it can't come out, but I don't want it in there wallering around, so that's why I'm going to tack a little bit around the edge here on the other side, just enough to hold it still, not wiggle around. So let me go ahead and get a little tacks up on it. All right, poured some water on it just to cool it off a little. Like I said, I just did a little tack there and a little tack there just to hold it in place. It did melt the rubber just a little bit, not a big deal. Like anything is better than what was in it. Like I said, this one is not permanent. This one's getting cut off, and I will be trussing the axle, which, you know, you got to grind this off and all that. So I'm not that worried. I just didn't want this thing to move around, so I got a nice little tack there to hold it in place so it doesn't spin around. This side rubber is good. It was just this side, it caught fire just for a second, but yeah, cooling it all off now to get it all lined back up and get it put in place. Obviously the holes don't line up anymore, but let me go ahead and get that done real quick and get this one where it needs to be. All right, got them both done, and this is the driver's side. It did have the little steel piece in there, the sleeve, but it fell out. As you can see, they are all pretty chewed up. That's from getting the driver's side out. So basically all you do is air hammer them in, well, out. I'll show you. It started getting dark quick, so I just had to knock it out. But basically, this doesn't really sit flush all the way. You get it in enough to where you could air hammer it. From the back side, you air hammer it through, and then you just air hammer it out. Put your ball joint press on it, set it up, run it in. It's that simple. To get your upper control arms bolts lined up, you can either jack up on your steering if you got 1 ton, or your track bar, anywhere on the front of the axle to rotate it. You can either rotate it this way or go on the bottom of your pinion to rotate the axle this way to get your bolts lined up. But I mean, overall, super simple job. It's definitely worth doing. As long as you got some basic knowledge and you can go rent a ball joint press, so you don't even really need a ball joint press. You can do it. It's fairly simple. Just do it. Save yourself some money instead of taking it to the shop. That's it on this one for a little while. The next project on it will more than likely be cutting off the rockers and doing 2x6 sliders for this one. The camo one, I'm ordering parts for it for Christmas, so it'll be a while before I put anything on that, because it's gonna be for Anna's Christmas. She wanted Jeep parts to go Jeeping, and some Jeep parts, so that's what we're doing. So up next is I'm gonna start stripping the YJ down. I am going to cut, let me get some light. That's not good, but it's enough. I'm gonna pull the fenders, pull the front grille and all that, radiator, just pretty much strip this whole front end, cut the front bumper, and get ready to pull this motor and get the other one put in. Still gotta go pick the other motor up. Just gotta find time to go do it. But next is I'm gonna start stripping this down and start getting it tore apart to get ready to put back together. But food's here, so I'm going to go eat.